Hello, welcome to the Vintage Baseball Corner. I'm Chris. Today we're going to do another PSA reveal, this time 85 cards from 1980 to present. Now most of these cards are going to be from the 1980s, so we're not venturing too far off of our normal vintage focus. The sub was $15.99 a card for estimated at 50 days. It came back in 25, so that's why it's right on top of the vintage sub that we did last week. Because that one took a little bit longer. Right now, PSA is taking longer on vintage cards, and closer to the modern era they get, they're flying right through them. So, if you haven't seen one of my reveals before, this is myself and a few friends that we put our cards together and submit. So you'll see different collecting styles. You'll see a lot of PC cards being slabbed. I will give you a heads up that this particular submission is heavy on Atlanta Braves and Dale Murphy cards, all for my buddy James and his cousin Nick, who were big, huge Dale Murphy fans growing up. I'm going to save those for the end so that if I start to run a little long on time, I can stop and record that and do a separate video just for those cards. But we got some great grades, not just from modern cards. There are going to be a few modern cards sprinkled in here as well. But we got some great grades, and stick around to see all the fun. Let's get to some cards. Here, real quickly, we're going to take a look at the background and the stacks of cards that we're going to go through. Here, I got some of my favorite cards from the 80s. I tried to not use the same player or the same set. So we got an 80 Tom Seaver. 84, we have Donruss, Nolan Ryan, and Don Mattingly tops, both in PSA 10's. We've got our Kirby Puckett in a 9. We got an 87 Donruss Barry Bonds. And then just because we do have some modern cards here, a 93 SP Derek Jeter and a 7, and a 2017 tops now Aaron Judge in a 10. So I added a few autographed balls from my collection for players that were heavy in the 80s and 90s. You can see Frank Thomas, Eddie Murray, Gary Carter, Cal Ripken, Don Mattingly, and Tony Gwynn. Some of the game's best. So let's set this back up, get to some cards, and see if we can't fly all of this in one take. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with 1980 and look at an Ozzie Smith 1980, his second year card. We got a near mint 8 on this one. Got an 81 Nolan Ryan. We got a 9 on it. This is a Fleer. When these first came out, I hated these cards. The print quality wasn't great. The cards were thin, and when I found them in the store, it was usually at the expense of the store not having my favorite Topps cards. So they've grown on me over the years. This is a really nice looking card, nice color, and a 9 is a great grade for Nolan Ryan. Next up, we got a Nolan Ryan in a 1981 Kellogg's. We got an 8 on this one. Again, pretty neat card. I really have no idea the ins and outs of how they grade these, but we'll take that 8 and run with it and be happy. Now, I want to mention something. I won't go on too long about Nolan Ryan. I'll throw in a few things here and there, but most of you know he has the most all-time no-hitters with 7 no-hitters. But he also had 12 one-hitters and 18 two-hitters in his career. Just a very, very difficult pitcher to hit when he was on. And his longevity was unparalleled as well. We'll get into that here in a little bit. So we got an 8 on the Kellogg's Ryan. Then we got a 1982 Cal Ripken rookie in the Donruss. A mint 9 on this. Beautiful card of one of the game's all-time great shortstops. We got 2 more 82 Donruss here. We got a Ricky Henderson in a PSA 10. That was a very, very nice get for my buddy Richard. One of probably the game's best leadoff hitter ever. And back to Nolan Ryan. We got a PSA 10 on an 82 Donruss Nolan Ryan. He leads the Major League Baseball pitchers all time in fewest hits allowed per 9 innings at 6.56. And just a dominant pitcher with some bad luck on the one-on-loss side, and had a little bit of control, especially control issues, especially early in his career. But he ironed some of those out as his career went along. Next, we'll stick to 83 Donruss. We'll go to Ryan Sandberg, his rookie. We got a near mint 8 on this baby. And again, the backs on the Donruss were all pretty similar there from year to year, and I'll pull this back up and show you the 82 back, the 83 back, and the 84 is also very similar as well. So we got an 83 Donruss Ryan Sandberg rookie and a near mint 8. Another Sandberg rookie here in a Topps version. And another 8 on this one, the Topps Sandberg rookie. Sandberg was one of my favorite players growing up. Growing up as a Cubs fan in the early 80s, he definitely was one of my favorites. Tony Gwynn, rookie card, another near mint 8. I'll tell you, I don't know if I'm blessed or cursed on these 1983s. I've now, between myself and a few friends, submitted about 10 of these, and every single one of them has been an 8. Never gotten a 7, never gotten a 9. So I'm not sure exactly what to make of that, because that spans over about 8 years, but maybe I just don't have good enough cards to get better grades. But this one's a nice 8 for Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. Next up, the Straw Man, Darryl Strawberry. We got a mint 9, a 1984 Topps. Beautiful card. Strawberry had power for days. His tall, lanky figure gave him the ability to uncoil and just crank some absolute bombs. We got a 9 on the 84 Darryl Strawberry. Another 84 Strawberry is a Donruss. You got a near mint 9. This is one of Nick's cards. I really like this card. Actually, I sent my old one in to be graded, and it picked up an 8, so I'm kind of jealous here. But this is a nice Darryl Strawberry rookie in the 84 Donruss, which was just a very, very popular set, yet a very difficult one to find back in the day. I'll show you on the screen my Don Mattingly. I've got a few Don Mattingleys now over the years, but I pulled exactly one from and here's the back on the Strawberry, from a pack as a kid, and chased that Mattingly forever, chased those Donruss cards. They were rarely in the stores. I pulled one, saved it all those years, and had it graded about 7 or 8 years ago, and it came back a 6, which was right. It had some wear, but at the same time, it's the one that I pulled from a pack when I was a kid. I do have a couple 8s and a 9 in the 84 Donruss Mattingly as well. Still searching for that elusive 10. Next up, a couple of my cards from 84 Donruss. I'm kind of just chipping away at the Hall of Fame players and trying to get his 9s and 10s in every opportunity possible. This is Joe Morgan, picked up a 9, which was about expected. I was hoping for a 10, but I think cards that old, you expect 10s, you're going to get disappointed. So we got Joe Morgan in a 9, and we have Jack Morris in a 9 to join him. I saw Jack Morris play when he came up through the minor leagues. He came through Evansville, Indiana, and played for the Tigers AAA team there, along with Lance Parrish and a lot of other solid parts of the nucleus, if you will, of the future world champions for the 1984 team that won the World Series. So Jack Morris, got a 9 on it, adds to my Hall of Fame 1984 Donruss. All right, chipping away at this stack, we got an 84 Tom Seaver. I have a nice Tom Seaver run. It's not complete yet, but I'm trying to pick up different cards. I have quite a few 10s. Excuse me, my voice just cracked there. This one is a 9, and I'm happy to add it to my collection and my Seaver run. Of course, the rookie card will probably be the last one that I ever pick up, because that's a tough and expensive high number from 1967. Here I'm adding to my Don Mattingly collection. We got a Fleer 84 rookie card and a near mint 8. I thought this one had a shot at getting a 9. I have a 9 in this card, but I figure you can never have too many Don Mattingly rookie cards. So, again, for those of you who may not know, I grew up in Evansville, where Mattingly is from, and I actually was fortunate enough to be able to watch him play while he was in high school. I was an 10, 11, 12-year-old kid running around, but we went to those games, watched him play his junior and senior year in high school, have a lot of memories, a lot of stories about that, which I'll probably cover in another video at some point. And ultimately, I ended up playing for the same coach that he did several years later. So you can't get too much done, Mattingly, especially rookie cards. We got a near mint 8 on that Fleer. Now we're going to go to Team USA and Mark McGwire. We got a 7 on this one. This one's a pretty tough card. I've had several of these graded. Most of them come in at 7s and 8s. I've had one single 9 of all the ones that I've graded, but they tend to land in that 7 or 8 range for sure. For those of you not familiar, the 84 Team USA Olympic baseball team also included future stars like Will Clark, Barry Larkin, Oddibe McDowell, B.J. Surhoff, and Bobby Witt, a guy who you might know his son these days. But all of those guys played on the 84 Olympic team, which was just a really, really nice team, and that's a good shot of McGwire there. Next, we're going to jump up to 85 Fleer. Got a 9 on this Dwight Gooden. Gooden was just a beast. For any of you that are not familiar with his career, in case you're younger and have not picked it up, go back, pick up one of his old starts on YouTube and watch the game. He was as dominant as they come. He was Rookie of the Year in 84. He set the Major League record for most strikeouts in a rookie season. He had 276. He bounced back in 1985 and went 24-4 with a 1.53 ERA. He had a 2.29 ERA plus, and for those not familiar with that, ERA plus is a ballpark-adjusted comparison tool that compares to the average pitcher. An average pitcher would have an ERA plus of 100. So at 2.29, that means Gooden was 129% better than the average pitcher that year. He added 280-something strikeouts as well. Gooden had some issues during his career, but he was 91-35 his first 5 years. Just an absolute dominant pitcher and fun to watch. So if you haven't seen his starts or you want to reminisce a little bit, go back and check out one of Gooden's starts in one of his first couple of years. Next, we'll go with Mr. Kirby Puckett. This is a Donruss rookie in a near mint 8. The 85 Donruss and 84 Donruss were really the first 2 sets where Donruss really started to gain some popularity. In fact, I think you could argue that 84, 85, and 86, that Donruss may have been as popular or more popular than Topps. They didn't make as many, especially in 84 and even 85, so they weren't as easy to get, and maybe that played into the popularity a little bit. But this is a nice looking 8 and a Kirby Puckett rookie card. Same year, we got Roger Clemens, rookie. We got same grade with an 8. Nice looking. These were really, really difficult to find centered. Next up, we have 4 1985. Let me get them here for you. 1985 Kirby Puckett Topps rookies. We got 4 of them, all submitted by my buddy Richard. This one, unfortunately, was the worst of the bunch. It got a 7, and things get a little bit better from there. The next card is a 9. And let me mention just about Puckett. He always seemed to be smiling. I'm going to show the next one is a 9 as well. Was just a really fun player to watch. His career was cut short because of an eye injury. But he was a 10-time All-Star, 6 Silver Slugger awards, 6 Gold Glove awards, and had over 200 hits 5 times in his career. He was a doubles machine. He averaged about 20 home runs and led the Twins to some really, really good teams in the 80s and early 90s. And this one is a beauty of the submission. We got a PSA 10 on a Kirby Puckett Topps rookie card. That makes this a pretty expensive card. These regularly sell for $600 plus. Just a really, really, really nice card. And we did have to pay a little bit extra for this card. There was a little bit of an upcharge but my buddy Richard really didn't mind at all. But that's a beautiful 10, a beautiful card for a covered Puckett rookie. And as you can see, mine here on our background is a 9, and that's the best grade that I've ever received. Now, again, kind of in the theme of PSA giveth and they take it away, we did 3 1985 Topps Nolan Ryans, and all 3 of these got 7s. So this was a little disappointing. We were hoping for 8s at least, and hopefully a 9 in there, but we picked up three different 7s. So as happy as Richard was with the 9s and 10s on Puckett, we got a little disappointment on the Nolan Ryans. Another quick note on Nolan Ryan: he's the only pitcher to ever have his number retired by 3 different teams and 3 different franchises. Now, I'm not counting Jackie Robinson, obviously, who every team has retired, number 42. But he's the only one that has had 3 different teams retire his number. He's also the only pitcher that pitched as a teenager and also as a 45-plus-year-old. So his career spanned that long that he started as a teenager and he ended up after 45. So just durability is amazing on him. Next, this is Richards. We got another Mark McGwire. This one got an 8. Again, pretty typical. I see 8s a lot. Centering's off a little bit left to right. It's not as bad maybe as it looks, but still just pretty typical grade of Mr. McGwire and his. I guess you would consider that as a rookie card. He didn't make it to the big leagues for another year or two, but the Team USA card I think is widely considered the rookie. Next up, Bo Jackson. We're going to go to 86. We got a near mint 7 on a Topps traded Bo Jackson. Bo was just a stud, obviously. I don't really need to tell everybody about Bo Jackson and his exploits, but just a really, really elite world-class athlete. Not a bad athlete himself, Barry Bonds. We got a 7 on that one. A little disappointing on those Topps traded. Would have liked to have seen a little bit better grade there, but hey, you can't win them all. All right, we're going to stay in 86 for the moment. Got 2 more here. Next one is Fred McGriff. This is his rookie. McGriff just went into the Hall of Fame here recently. And this is the Leaf example. Leaf was the Canadian version of Donruss. Kind of like as is OPC is to Topps. So this is the Leaf version of the Fred McGriff rookie card, and we got a near mint 8 on it as well. And then another one for my Tom Seaver run, an 86 Seaver. This one was really nice. I just hoped that maybe I could get a 10. The centering is off a little bit left-right, but it actually fit within the guidelines for a 10. But maybe that's just so difficult, especially with this top black border. But this is a really, really pretty card. I got a 9. I'm not going to complain about that for a second. So, going back to Bo Jackson here. And we've got 2 of these. The famous score Bo Jackson, we got an 8 on this one with the shoulder pads and the bat. Got an 8 on this one. We got just Bo on the back, just cool. And on the second, we got a 9. So this one was just a little bit nicer, and deservedly so that it got a 1 grade bump. Back to Bo Jackson. This is a Southern League All-Stars, a Future Stars card. Bo spent a total of 53 games in Memphis in the minor leagues. Those were his only minor league games. He went straight to the big leagues after 53 games in AA Memphis, and this card is a mint 9 and is showing him in his Memphis Chicks uniform. So just a really, really cool card there that you don't see every day. We're going to stick with our Southern League theme, although this one was not a Southern League card, but this is a Michael Jordan Upper Deck from when he took batting practice with the White Sox in 1991. We got a near mint 8 on this one. Jordan, as all of you know, later played for the Birmingham Barons in AA in 1994. I missed Mr. Jordan by a couple of years, but the Barons were the minor league team that I spent 8 years with. And I came in 1997, so I just missed him by a couple of years. But from all that I've learned is he pretty much packed the houses wherever he went, home and road. He was obviously, fans were there to see Michael Jordan play baseball. And while his statistics weren't great, they were actually reasonably solid. He stole some bases, drove in some runs. Batting average struggled. He struck out a good bit, but as I was told, he improved greatly throughout the season, and by the end of the season, he was a much, much different player than he was early in the year. Sticking with the Southern League, these cards are from my time in the Southern League. The 2003 Southern League Top Prospect set produced by Grandstand. Grandstand was the printing company that helped design and produce all of the team sets in those years, and I worked with Lynn over at Grandstand, the owner, on several team sets. This one is a Southern League set. Yadier Molina picked up a 9. This card and this set has been sitting in a tub in my office for many, many years, and I opened it up and thought, you know what, now's the time. Let's just take a shot and see. We've got a 9 on this one. Just kind of see real quickly the printing on the back of it. But pretty cool. I fully expect Mr. Molina to land in the Hall of Fame. Whether he's a first ballot Hall of Famer or not, I don't know, but definitely one of the game's best catchers. And another one of these is Miguel Cabrera. I definitely expect him to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We got a 9 on it as well. Again, took a shot at a 10, didn't get it, but these cards you don't see every day. So I will take that and be very happy. The 2003 season was just absolutely loaded, and that particular set included those two players, but it also included Dontrelle Willis, Adam Wainwright, Edwin Jackson, who has a no-hitter to his resume, J.J. Hardy, some other players that played in the big leagues, Neil Kotz, who played for my Barons, and ended up having 11 or 12 year career with the White Sox and mostly Cubs as a relief pitcher, and Khalil Green, who didn't quite pan out exactly as expected. He was one of the top prospects coming out of Clemson out of college, played for 6 or 7 years in the big leagues, and was a serviceable player, but not the megastar that many had kind of expected. But still, very, very loaded set, very loaded year that year with top prospects. Next, we got a 93 Topps Gold Derek Jeter. I believe this is considered his rookie card. We got a 9 on it. Again, this is one of Richard's. I pulled that up for us. We got a 9. Very happy with that. And also a 2004 Topps Gold, Joe Mauer. And Joe, obviously, as you know, was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, first ballot. One of the best hitting catchers, especially of his generation. Played a lot of first base late in his career as well, but I believe he won a few batting titles. Joe was just a very, very good catcher and got a mint 9 on that as well. So, again, Richard has done very well. There's been a couple of grades that didn't work out for him, like those 85 Nolan Ryans, but overall cannot complain at all. Another one of Richard's cards. This is a 92 Stadium Club, Shaquille O'Neal. We got a 10 on this one, a Jim Mint. Very nice card. What can you say about Shaq? Shaq was just a man. And I believe one more basketball card here is 88 scoreboard, or 96, scoreboard Kobe Bryant. This one got an 8. Richards graded a few of those, and on the last submission he got, I believe, a 10 or 2 and a couple of 9s. This one picked up an 8, which is probably why he didn't submit it with the first group. But anyway, so we got a Kobe Bryant scoreboard 96 and an 8. Next up, Victor Wembanyama. Got an 8 on this one. I know Nick's probably a little bit disappointed in this card. It's a Donruss Panini card of obviously one of the hottest basketball players and one of the most graded players in all of PSA and all sports. Next, we're going to turn to Richard picked up a really nice 1981 Donruss golf set. So we graded some of these. This one picked up a 7. A little disappointed with Tom Watson there, but Tom is a Hall of Fame golfer. I picked up a 7. Then we've got the Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus, with an 8. This one's centering is what got us. If you can notice, it's shorter on the top than it is on the bottom. I measured it out and knew we were going to max at an 8, but this otherwise is a pretty darn sharp card. and we'll take that because the limitations of the cut held us back there. We have another Jack Nicklaus. This one we didn't have those limitations, and we got a 10. This one is a statistical leader card, and it's not his, I guess, similar to the leaders cards that we have in baseball, but got a 10. This one is rarely sold. I've seen a couple of these sell for over $1,000 in the last few years, but I think it's been a year or two since one's been sold. I think 2023 maybe. You might have had one, and then it was a year plus before the previous one was sold. So it's hard to value this card, but at the same time, the right time, right place, that's a pretty valuable card in a 10. We got two more golf cards here. We got Lee Trevino. We got a Gem Mint 10 on the Lee Trevino as well. Again, these were all pretty darn sharp cards, obviously so, but we didn't get 10s on all of them, but it was nice to pick up a couple of 10s out of these. And the last of the golf is a Ray Floyd in a a Mint 9, excuse me. We'll move on from the golf. We'll get into a little bit of a modern. Here we got 23 Heritage Ashley Rutschman. This is a purple hot box refractor, and we got a Mint 9 on this one. Nice card. For those of you who are not familiar with it, so many boxes out of per case. I believe it's one per case is considered a hot box, and there's generally one of these purple chrome refractors in each pack in that particular box case, but it's only one box per case, I believe. So we got a 9 on Adley Rutschman. Next up, we got a couple of 2024s, just regular issue Series 1 Ellie De La Cruz. And we got 10s on both of these, as you can see here. So we got two Ellies in the base 2024 Series 1. We got two more Ellies. This is in the 24 Heritage. This is a base as well. I got a Mint 9 on this one, and a Gem Mint 10 on this one. So 3 out of 4 10s on Ellies. From 2024. Those are designated as rookie cards. Next up, I have to give a credit to my buddy James. We picked up some of these Topps Now Jackson Holiday debut specials when he made his debut earlier this summer. Obviously, that didn't go well. He struggled in the big leagues, went back down to the minor leagues. James decided to go ahead and submit his too, and timing couldn't be better because we now have two Gem Mint 10s on the Topps Now cards as he is back up in the big leagues and hitting much, much better than he did the first time around. So I'm going to save the next two cards, and I'm going to cut this off. We're going to do a separate video for some modern Braves cards, then we're going to dig right into some 80s Dale Murphys and Atlanta Braves cards, and we'll do those separately. There's about 20 of those. It shouldn't take us very long, but I think this is a good time to cut this video off. So I thank you for joining me on this little trip through our PSA submission. Join me back for part 2 with the Braves and Dale Murphy cards here. I will post that within a day or so of this video. And again, I thank you. Please like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed your time with me, and I hope to spend time with you again sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day.